Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a continuation of the biggest story of 2025 in the sports world. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So yesterday, as you guys know, everyone reacted to the bombshell lawsuit that was filed against Skip Bayless, Joy Taylor, and others at FS1. Bombshell. Everyone reacted to it. Marcellus Wiley gave his thoughts on it. Jason Whitlock gave his thoughts on it. A lot of content creators, independent guys, gave their thoughts on it. But one of the people that surprised me, I had a hunch he would say something, but nevertheless, I was still surprised to see him kind of jump out there and express his views on the matter, was Stephen A. Smith. The reason I was surprised that Stephen A. Smith jumped into this is, number one, given the nature of the lawsuit. Whenever we have situations like this, people are generally afraid to touch it, especially people that may be very close to the situation itself. They're afraid of maybe people coming out there and saying, oh, you're in support of this, or them not saying what the crowd wants them to say. I'll give you guys an example of this. Just yesterday, I came across a clip from the Art of Dialogue, and Gene Deal was there. And during this clip, he was reacting to a story of an accuser that accused Diddy of something that took place, I think during the 90s or something like that, where, you know, there was a stampede that took place, people lost their lives. And someone accused Diddy apparently of doing something to her at that event. Now, Gene Deal was there, and he said how he was manning the door and all of that. And he said that's impossible because Diddy was with us the entire time. So I scrolled to the comments, and people were saying, so now we defending him now? We defending him now? And then people were like, it didn't matter, he's guilty. So I bring up that example to say that whenever things like this get put out there, what I've noticed, especially after the Diddy situation, the Jay-Z situation, is that people generally jump to the conclusion of the person being guilty. They generally jump to that conclusion, right? So for Stephen A. Smith, who I know is aware of that, to still jump out there and express his views on the matter, he was taking a risk. He was definitely taking a risk because he could have gone out there and alienated some folks. But nevertheless, he went out there, and to my surprise, he defended Skip Bayless. And he said that a lot of the things that are being alleged against Skip Bayless, he finds it to be absolutely unbelievable, that it's not the Skip Bayless that he knew. So what we want to do is want to play a compilation of some of the things that Stephen A. Smith had to say in defense of Skip Bayless, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith here.
Anytime you mention Skip Bayless, most folks want to hear what I have to say, and that's where we're going to get started because it's sports media news, which makes it apropos. And it involves a recent lawsuit filed against Fox Sports, and several people, including my buddy Skip Bayless, my former colleague at ESPN. The suit, filed by a woman named Nashin Faraji, a former hairstylist for the company, cites several instances of workplace misconduct, okay? The 42-page, that's right, 42-page suit names several defendants, including Fox Sports Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon and even host Joy Taylor. Faraji alleges Dixon grabbed her buttocks at a birthday party, and when she relayed the encounter to Taylor, the Fox host allegedly told her to, quote, get over it, end quote. As for Skip Bayless, Faraji says he touched her inappropriately and propositioned her for sex, offering her $1.5 million, end quote. I'll get to Tori and her thoughts on for a second. First things first. Let me tell you why I had to cover this. Number one, it's news. Number two, I was just on the air a few weeks ago and took some heat for the fact that I pointed out that I've been friends with Jay-Z for 25 years. And I know nothing about what happened, no intimate details. Certainly can't be irresponsible and not try to interfere with a legal matter, a lawsuit. But in the same breath, I didn't think it was a crime to point out that the person that I've known for 25 years, I've never seen somebody that would be capable of that, with that meaning that person that I was around for 25 years. The same applies to Skip Bayless. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't work at Fox. I worked at Fox from 2001 to 2003. I haven't been there. I haven't been in that building in over 20 years. I don't know any details or anything like that. And I'm not here to castigate Ms. Faraji or anybody else. I don't know Charlie Dixon that well, even though he used to work, at ESPN. I don't know Joy Taylor that well. Even though she and I have interacted with one another on several occasions throughout her career, and I find her to be a consummate professional, very good at what she does, very capable, very knowledgeable about the world of sports and what have you. I also know that she's big on women empowerment, so it's hard to imagine her saying get over it. But again, I don't know. But we all know that when you see Stephen A. Smith with a subject like this and the name involves Skip Bayless, that's what you want to know about. And here's what I would tell you. I don't know what happened. But just like I said, I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I can't imagine that. I've known Skip for just as long. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Especially when they brought up the $1.5 million. The Skip Bayless I know has a hard time giving away $15. He's one of the cheapest people I know. That's just me. But that doesn't mean that I have any inside knowledge about any of this. I don't, and I'm not going to get involved. I think it's incredibly dicey and irresponsible for people who don't know to act like they do know. But in the same breath, I also feel it's important that if you know people or you think you know people and you've had a long-standing relationship with those people, that it's not a crime for you to say the person that I know, the person that I've been around, the person that I worked with in his case, for 4 straight years from 2012 to 2016 doing First Take every weekday morning at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The person that I knew since our days at Fox Sports when we would appear on Jim Rome's show, okay, The Last Word and stuff like that, and we were in the same Fox building off of Pico Boulevard and Avenue of the Stars. The person that I've seen that really, really trusts almost no one and doesn't expose himself to anybody, eating the same breakfast and lunch every day. His vice is a Diet Mountain Dew, and he doesn't socialize with people. That's the guy I know. So imagining him being in this kind of position is shocking, to say the least. All I could tell you is that it's not the Skip Bayless I know. But obviously, this is a legal matter he's going to have to deal with because this situation doesn't appear to be going away. A lawsuit has been filed. This person who's a hairstylist, the people that I've spoken to in the last 24 hours that have some knowledge about her says that she's the kind of person that she's meticulous with her details and she's going to chronicle things and that's how she operates. I don't know her. I don't know them. I know Skip. And I'm very, very heartbroken that he finds himself in this situation, being accused of these allegations. But I can't be over the airways being irresponsible and attaching truth or innocence, or guilt to anything that I know nothing about. All I can say, and I don't think it's a crime to say, is just like I said with Jay-Z, the person that I've known for 25 years, I've never seen anything like that from that person, anything close to that from that person. That's the same thing that I would tell you about Skip Bayless.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. What are my thoughts to this? I want to commend him. I want to commend him for having the courage to not worrying about his brand for 5 minutes and actually go out there and say what he feels in his heart. Too often people don't do that. People are afraid of their brands. They're afraid of their image. They're afraid of how things may impact them financially, even when they're financially set, right? Even when they're financially set, there are a lot of people that are afraid to go out there and say what they really think. So for Stephen A. Smith to step to the forefront and go out there and say, hey, look, I don't believe. No. This is not the Skip Bayless that I know. He didn't say he doesn't believe any of the things that were said. He said, this doesn't sound like the Skip that I know. I commend him for that. Right? That's what a friend is supposed to do. And here's what's even more impressive about what Stephen A. Smith did. Stephen A. Smith recently admitted that he had been trying to reach out to Skip Bayless and Skip wasn't answering his call, picking up his phone call. He said Skip Bayless wasn't reaching out, responding to him. So with that being the reality of where the relationship stands right now, and for him to be aware of that, and for him to still go out there and say that That's not the Skip Bayless I know. That's a big person. It takes a big person to do that, and I want to commend him for that. That was very, very impressive. Most people would not. Most people are gonna sit there and run and hide about their brands and not say this and not say that, or capitulate to public pressure and just cave into the views that people have out there. That a lot of it is not based in reality or anything factual. The fact of the matter is, the world that we live in now is that whenever a lawsuit is put forth, regardless of whether or not it's proven or not, people already assume that it's true. And I believe that a lot of that has to do with this thing in people where they like to see people fall. There are some people that really relish in that. I'm not talking about fail on an individual, but like fail to the point where like you lose everything. A lot of that goes on in society. It's just it's human beings for you, right? It's human beings for you. So I was very impressed by that. Truly, I was very impressed by Stephen A. Smith having the courage to go out there and defend his former colleague and former friend, Skip Bayless, because not a lot of people are going to do it. As a matter of fact, a lot of people were going to pile on Skip. Now, me personally, I don't have anything against Skip. Some people do. Some people feel they don't like the way that he covers sports, the things that he said about LeBron James and other athletes. And I think that these people are 100% within their right to feel the way that they feel. On a personal level, I don't feel anything strongly about Skip Bayless to that extent. Hell, I have stronger feelings about Stephen A. Smith than I do Skip Bayless for some of the stuff that Stephen A. Smith has said. But nevertheless, that was impressive. This is just my opinion. Some people may feel otherwise, but that was impressive on the part of Stephen A. Smith. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith coming to the defense of Skip Bayless amid these damaging allegations? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.